You know, in retrospect, I had the river going the wrong way. I had it drying out as opposed to.
That's not good.
No. I realized, I'm like, that's nothing. I knew what I was. Anyway.
Well, the thing is, literally it's good, but politically not.
Right.
Because the metaphor of the river rising is the people rising up to take their power back. But when I first wrote it, a lot of people thought it was about all the floods, and
timing wise, I guess, because of when it.
Then your way would be correct.
Right. Okay. Can you write one of those for us?
Absolutely.
All right. And lyrically, as I was listening to it, that had a little bit of, I don't know, a Bob Marley-esque type, a power to the people type feel to it almost.
Yeah, and I also, it's funny you mentioned that because I've been playing another song on the road with my band that I wrote with Ziggy Marley, Bob Marley's son. And it has a similar kind of message. They're almost like sister songs, really. It's a little bit more reggae. But it is that kind of message, and I think Marley is an important figure. Historically, he'll be looked at the way Bob Dylan is looked at. I think it's a message that needs to be timely right now because Americans, and I'll plead guilty myself, Americans are complacent. We're happy with all the stuff we have, air conditioning and Xbox and
all the various
flat screen TV. So in some ways it's going to take those things being taken away from us for us to realize what's happening.
Now, for those people used to your work with Government Mule, who will be performing at this year's Christmas Jam, and a lot of people looking forward to that because it's been a little while, they said, well, geez, this album is musically and lyrically so much different. Is there a switch you can flip when you're writing for a certain type of Government Mule work, Warren Haynes solo work, Allman's otherwise? I mean, because they're clearly different types of music.
I think I'll just guesstimate a percentage. Somewhere around 30% of the songs that I write could be Government Mule songs or Allman Brothers songs or solo songs. And then the other percentage, whether it's 70 or a different percentage, kind of needs to be one way or the other. Usually I can tell when I write a song if it should be a Mule song or an Allman Brothers song or something completely different. But there are times when it's just a matter of interpretation. The Allman Brothers actually performed River's Gonna Rise at the Beacon Theater, and it sounded great as an Allman Brothers song. Most of the songs on Man in Motion, I think, were obvious that they needed to be treated differently. There's a song called Hattiesburg Hustle that could have been a Government Mule song, I think. And there was a song on the last Government Mule record called Frozen Fear that could have been on Man in Motion. And actually, I've been playing it in promotion of the Man in Motion record, and on that tour, I've been playing it more the way I wrote it, which is kind of more of a soul music version. But sometimes, the influences are similar enough to where each band could interpret the songs differently. Somebody asked me in an interview, well, couldn't you have made this same record with Government Mule? And I was like, yeah, we could have done it. It would have been really fun and a great record. But I think the songs kind of cried out for a little more traditional treatment than Government Mule would have lended. It's a little more soul music meets blues. And it would have gone a little further toward that than we've ever gone as Government Mule. We have elements of that, but never a whole record.
Warren Haynes in the Rock 104.9 studio with us. Now, I noticed in the side of your guitar it says Blondie. Is that a name that you gave it, or is that just something the roadie put on so they knew which one it was?
Brian Farmer, my guitar tech, he puts names on them. I think so he can see them in the dark, but he's creative that way. I would never name a guitar Blondie.
Go ahead.
But he does that. They all have some sort of name, and I guess that goes along with his personality. He's one step shy of an institution.
Now, it seems like every year that you're in here, you have a different guitar, and so you must be a guitar aficionado of sorts. I love trying different beers from all over Do you do the same thing with guitars? You just want to try this guitar, try that guitar, different sound here, different sound there?
Yeah, but if you try too many guitars, you don't get arrested.
That's true.
Unless they're not yours. Yeah, I never thought of myself as someone that was a collector or something. I used to make fun of Alan Woody because he had almost 500 instruments between guitars and basses and
Wow.
mandolins, and I used to give him so much grief about it. And then as the years go by, I find myself having more and more and more, and going, "Oh, I get it." It's hard to let go. Jerry, you're here. You know what I'm saying. It's hard to give up an instrument because each one has a personality, and it may not be your favorite one, but that doesn't mean you want to give it up.
Jerry Lyda from Music City, every year he comes in. He donates a couple of guitars. One that we auction off that goes to Habitat for Humanity, of course, the primary beneficiary of the Warren Haynes Christmas Jam. And this year, Skip is in studio. He follows you all over the place. He's probably starting to creep you out because he's everywhere. But we love Skip. And he's a high donor this year. He gets the guitar, and he's hanging out in studio this year. He gets tickets to the Jam and all that. The 23rd Warren Haynes Christmas Jam. I'm pretty sure I haven't done damn near anything 23 years. That's impressive. I mean, every year the number grows. You just got to love that, don't you?
Yeah, I think it's great that it's lasted this long and continued to get bigger and bigger and better and better. I can't take a lot of credit for designing it that way because when we started it, it was really just something to have fun. So it wasn't like, oh, if we keep doing it, maybe we'll raise millions of dollars, But the fact that it's turned out to be successful is due to all the amazing artists and musicians and bands that have contributed their time and energy, so that's who deserves the thanks for all of it.
And this year's bands, Phil Lesh and Friends. Phil's been here before. And of
2001,
course,
so it's
10
been
years.
10 years, yeah.
A long time there. Mule, of course, who haven't played the Jam as Government Mule in a couple of years. Bela Fleck, which will give you a different feel. Bringing in, doing some picking. That'll be awesome.
Bela's never been here, and Los Lobos have never been here.
Mm-hmm.
So
that's cool. And a lot of the regulars that just chip in and just do a great job, of course.
Yeah.
And they sold out again this year very quickly, which I would hope may be a symbol of maybe the economy rebounding a little bit, because for a few years there, they weren't going just as fast, mostly because people just didn't have the money.
Well, the first year the economy dropped out beneath us was the only year that it didn't sell out.
Right.
And that was a tough year because getting people to spend money was really hard, and rightly so. And it was worrisome there for a minute, but every year since then has come back strong, and I feel like the hardest thing for us is to keep the lineup different, keep it strong but not the same. So the fact that we have bands like Bela Fleck and Los Lobos for the first time is very important to me and to the event. Having said that, repeaters like Phil Lesh and the Allman Brothers and people like that are always welcome, and when they volunteer to do it, that's a beautiful thing. But I also like reaching out to people that have never been.
Let's do one more, and then when we come back, I want you to tell me about a story that I recently heard about back in the day when there was you pushing a van leaving Cincinnati. There was something about a van breaking down. This would have been back in the 60s in your outlaw days, early 70s. Something, do you recall, you had to push a van and you almost got left behind leaving a gig in Cincinnati. Does this ring a bell to you?
Not at the moment.
Okay. We'll give you a couple seconds to think on that one.
All right.
And I'll get my facts straight while that's going
And
on.
I've pushed a lot of vans, too.
So maybe that particular one just doesn't jump out at you.
Let me think about that.
Okay, all right. David Allen Coe. That's the hint. Of course, anything can happen back with David Allen.
Yeah, and often did.